That's why I'm up here, and that's why I'm before you for the third time in just a couple of years saying, can you please help me do this? Because I think that our intentions are the best of intentions. We are trying to save the country from going in a direction that we don't like. How are we doing? Everybody asks me, how's it going? We're winning. Can you imagine that? When we started in January of last year, we're down by 13 points. The last poll shows that we're up by 6 or 7 points among very simple reasons for that. There's very little to do with me. I recognize that. Very little to do with who the messenger is. There's two very simple reasons for why we're doing as well as we're doing. Number one, look around. There's over 200 people in here tonight. We were in Bishopville, South Carolina last week at a meeting at lunchtime and had 65 people. I was at a Tea Party meeting in Florence in April. We had over 200 people. I was at someone's home in Cheraw, South Carolina, one of the heaviest SPRAT counties in every single election going back 28 years. We had 60 people at someone's home. Everywhere that we go, it's what you see here tonight. And the message is the other half of the equation. The message is really very simple, which is instead of focusing on the stuff that we disagree about, let's talk about the things that I think that a lot of folks in the 5th Congressional District agree with. That's it. It's a pretty simple message. By the way, I was talking to someone tonight and said, well, you're going to spice your speech up tonight? You know, it's a big Mick crowd. And I said, no, I give the same speech to Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. I do, because I think the message is the same. The message is this. Can we agree on some things? Can a large majority of the people in the 5th Congressional District of South Carolina agree on the fact that we should pick our own doctors?
Amen.
Yeah. If we agree on that, then let's let that concept, that principle that we agree on, let's let that drive the debate on health care. Can we agree that the government is not as good at creating jobs as the private sector? You go to the heart of Darlington County. It's very, very strong, Mr. Spratt District, and you ask that question and you get the exact same answer that you would in York County, a very heavily Republican county. People in this district do agree on certain principles. They also agree, for example, on the fact that the government should at least tell us how we are going to spend our money this year. That's a reasonable question. Do you think the government should tell us at least how they're going to spend $4 trillion? And the answer uniformly across this district is, yeah, I think that makes sense. It just makes common sense. Our congressman, by the way, is in charge of doing that. Our congressman is in charge of the Budget Committee. He is charged by law to present a proposed budget to the full body of the Congress every April 15th. What day is today? The 19th of August? It still hasn't done it. It's the first time ever that a House Budget Chairman has failed to offer a budget.
Let's fire him.
There have been years. Pretty simple test. If you can't do the job you're hired for, then you do tend to get fired every now and then. But we do ask people, can we just agree on that? And the last one, the biggest one we're talking about is, can we at least agree, Democrats, Republicans, Independents alike, that we can't continue to spend a bunch of money that we don't have? And I believe that a large majority of the folks in this district do, then let's let that drive the discussion about how we're going to run this country, how we're going to spend money, how we're going to balance budgets, how we're going to prioritize government services. Let's start with what we agree on instead of what divides us. And that's it, folks. That's a pretty simple message. And you put together those two things. You put together a group of folks. I tell you, when I walk out of a meeting, and I'm looking around, I know a lot of folks in politics in this area. I see a lot of new faces in this room tonight. Yeah. The two most common things I hear when I walk out of somebody's home at a meeting, or I walk out of a Tea Party meeting are, you know, I used to vote for John Spratt, but, or, you know, I've never been involved in politics much before, but. That's what you hear. You put that together with a message of let's just figure out some common sense principles that we agree on. You put those two things together, and what you've got is a race that's going to get rid of the 28-year incumbent budget chairman.